Welcome. Today, we're going to go over how to make your number management function in the Twilio console. You're going to want to be logged into the Twilio console under the account SID that you want the function to run on. You're also going to want the tab open for the support phone numbers Git repository. This is where we're going to get the information to create the function in the console. The first thing we want to do is in the Twilio console, go to Functions and Assets. Now, if you don't have functions and assets in the left-hand menu, go ahead and click Explore Products. Do a quick search for functions and click the little pin button here on the right. That's going to add it over into your menu on the left. Once you have functions and assets in your menu, go ahead and click on Services. Now, I already have this function created on my account, but we're going to run through the end-to-end process so you can see a full walkthrough of how to create the function. So go ahead and click Create Service. Now, you'll see here, if I have a space and I hit Next, it's going to give me an error. Spaces are not allowed, so you have to use a dash. And for the sake of this demo, I'm going to give this a different name. This is going to load the dashboard in which we'll use to create our function. Here we see that we have functions and assets. We need to go into the Git repository now to get those functions and assets. So here we're going to go ahead and click on Functions. And there's a variety of functions we can choose from. Today, we're going to be using the all functions. Here, you'll see it matches in console. We have functions and assets here. The first one we're going to do is functions. These are all of the files that we are going to use to create our function in console. The first one we're going to do is call_log.js. Now you'll see they all have .js at the end. When we're creating these in console, we want to make sure we do not include the .js. So what we'll do is we'll just copy the call_log here and come into the console. You're going to want to click Add from the left-hand corner and click Add Function. Put your name in here and enter. This is going to create a tab for our call_log, and it has some demo code here. We're just going to go ahead and delete this, and we want to go back to the Git repository. Here, we want to go ahead and click Copy from the right-hand side. You could highlight and copy if you prefer. However, some of the files are longer than others, so I prefer to just come in and click the little copy button. We'll go back to the Twilio console, and we're going to paste this content here. And we want to go ahead and save. We've created our first function. Now we're going to do the same for the remaining functions listed here. You could go back to the functions folder, or you can just kind of go down the menu on the left. I prefer to go down the menu on the left, so I kind of know where I'm at. So this one's fetch_sid. We're going to copy. Now click that add function button in console, paste in and hit enter. While that's working, I'll come and grab the file I need. Now remember to delete the demo code before you paste in the code that you need and hit save. Be sure to save as you go. Next one is get account. Click add function. Name your function and hit enter. Remember to click the copied button every time. And delete the demo content every time before you paste in the content you need and hit save. So as you can see, it's going to be a lot of copying and pasting. Now, as you're copying and pasting, pay attention here as this one has changed a little bit. It's list capital N numbers. This is because we do have a secondary list numbers function here. We want to make sure that we differentiate and show that they are not the same function. So add function, paste. Reminder not to include the .js. Make sure you're leaving that out. Copy. Deleting the demo code and pasting in the live code we're going to need, and save. Click add function. Now this is a good example here. As you're doing your copying and pasting, making sure you're not getting that little period there. If you do, make sure you delete it before you save the name. Copy. Delete the demo code, paste in the live code. As you see, we can get through these pretty quickly if you get in a little rhythm of copy pasting. delete our demo code, paste in our live code, and we're just going to go down the line. We have a couple left here. Now you'll see as we're creating these, we're getting more and more tabs up top right here. If it's feeling a little cluttered, you can go ahead and close these. That's okay. It's not going to impact anything. We got about 3 left. Transfer. Ooh. Again, watch out for that period there. And number usage. And save. All right, now we've created all of our functions. We're going to go ahead and create our assets. We're going to do this very similarly as we did with the functions. So here you can go back to the all-in-one functions folder here, or you can navigate to assets on the left-hand menu. Just for visibility, I'm going to click on the all-in-one functions here and click on assets. Now you can see the naming convention is a little bit different here. It's .css or .html. In this case, for assets, we want to make sure we name them the same thing as they show here. So it makes our copying and pasting adventures a little bit easier. This time when we click add, we're going to click add asset. And it's going to show up down here in the asset section. Paste in, hit enter. Now, when this tab loads, it's going to be a little bit different than the functions tab. It's going to be blank. This also helps us with our copy pasting adventures. And just like the functions, we're going to go down the line for the assets and copy and paste them all into the console here, remembering to click add and add asset instead. And click save. Always save as you go. Add asset. This one is our list numbers. You'll notice I am leaving the little dash on the side there. Make sure you leave that guy there. And again, if it's feeling a bit crowded, you can close these tabs as you go. It's not going to hurt anything. All right, a couple more. We'll get through these fairly quickly. Remembering to click add asset instead this time, and keeping the .html or CSS in that file name. And our last one here. All right, now that we have all of our functions and our assets entered in, we want to go ahead and check some environmental variables. So we're going to come here down to environmental variables. And here we want to go ahead and add a password. So I want to do password. We have a capital P here, so capital P password. And for this demo, I'm just going to add a generic value. This password will be the password that you use to secure your application and log in to be able to use the application. After you add it, you can click the little I, you'll see the value. You can edit it if needed and update or cancel. Once you have your password in, we're going to come over to the functions and assets, and by default, they're created protected. Now that we have a password for our function, we're going to go ahead and make these all public. Now, as you're doing this, remember to scroll down. There's a lot of functions. Make sure you get them all. And we're going to do the same for assets. Once they're all set to public, we're going to go ahead and click Deploy All. And this is going to take a minute. Once it's done, you'll get a green check mark that says Deployed to Environment. Now that it's deployed, we want to go ahead and come in and check these dependencies. The first thing we're going to check here is that the node version is version 18. If it does not say version 18, go ahead and click on it and select it. The second thing we're going to check are some of these modules. The first module is going to be the Twilio module. This one you're going to most likely need to change. So here, we're going to want it to say the little up caret 3.61.0. Click update. The last module we want to check is the @Twilio runtime handler. You want to make sure it's at least 1.2.1. If it is not, please update this. Now, since we made a change here to one of the modules, we're going to go ahead and have to deploy again. So click Deploy All, and it's going to take just that minute again to build. Once you get the deploy to environment with a green check mark, your function's now done. It's ready to go. So you can go ahead and go into the index.html file here, and you click copy URL on the right-hand side. This is going to be how you open your application. So you just want this URL. We'll come into a new tab here and paste it in the URL. Here's your number management function. You have all the options here in which you can interact with your account and send requests for.